Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dance Chat. Today we have Peter with us. Say hi.
Hi.
Can you do a quick self intro?
Yeah, my name is Peter. I am from New York. Not born and raised, just raised because I moved here when I was around 14, but I tell people that I'm from here anyway. I started dancing maybe around a little more than 10 years ago, and I was always part of dance teams. Most recently, I used to direct a team called Project D, which Jingshu was also on, and that's where I met her.
Alumni.
But yeah, PD alumni. But I am no longer on the team as of a little more than a year ago. So now I'm just a free agent.
Free agent. Yeah. So you said you started dancing 10 years ago ish?
Yeah.
Which style did you first started with?
Oh man. I guess back then it was called urban style. I mean, essentially the same style that I do to this day, where it's like a mixture of genres. Now kind of called open style. But the context was that I auditioned for like this like school performance in high school, my freshman year, and there was like a big dance show every year, and there were multiple different genres, but this one I auditioned for was called Boys Hip Hop, and it was just like choreo that was inspired by a lot of like West Coast dancers. Like at the time, it was a lot of Brian Puspos, Ian Eastwood, etc. Yeah.
So wait, that was when you already moved to New York.
Yeah.
So you didn't before that you were in Korea, right? Because I know Korea is also big on dance and K-pop
Yeah.
has influenced so many.
Yeah, for sure. I never really danced before high school, but yeah, I did move from Korea when I was 10 to Michigan actually, and I lived in Michigan for 3 years before I moved to New York. But like when I lived in Korea, I think I always had an interest slash dream of,
K-pop idol?
yeah, like what if I go audition for YG? But then like it's really hard to pursue something like that when you're a kid that doesn't know anything, and also like you don't have like a special talent, or you look really attractive from when you're young. So
I'm kind of curious. Like,
yeah,
is that does it occur to then who are those Korean kids
yeah,
that decided to pursue it when they were? Because I thought the training could take
yeah. I don't know. They must, maybe
years.
it's like parents see that they have some kind of talent, whether it's like singing or dancing, or they just like have the look, and they somehow maybe go into dance studios, vocal trainings, whatever, and then end up auditioning. Yeah, I don't really know. But for me, I remember like the first dance attempt I ever made was watching, TVXQ. Um,
I'm sorry.
I don't know how to describe, but one of the older K-pop groups, one of their songs called "Neurotic" is like such a classic, and I remember watching it and wanting to learn that dance, but I never did. I never, I never started until.
So you're in New York and you started off. That's pretty much choreography
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
And I guess then over the years, how has the scene here changed? Or
Mm,
like the teachers that you were learning from, are they still teaching here? What are they up
yeah,
to? I mean, life changed for you, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
life changed
for
for all of
sure,
them too.
for sure. That's actually, it's funny that you asked because I was just watching some videos yesterday of team performances from when I joined the community, and this is like Pearly East Coast, right? And
Oh, back then there were already
oh
prelim.
yeah, that event's quite old, and like I mean the teams now, maybe they're not all of them are there. Actually, I think all of them are still there. Like the classic teams like Neighbors, Mint, Unique Movement, which was like the team I was on, um, etc. But I was watching specifically like the Neighbors performances, and in that set back then, like in that era, the people that were on stage were like Asosa, Euron, Jason Diaz. There's also Tay. Um, like everyone who's like still teaching right now around here, and like it just made me realize, wow, like these people that I looked up to when I first started dancing, they're still around, like kicking, like teaching everything. It's so cool to see. But yeah, those people essentially.
So they were already teaching back then, or
They were, yeah. They were directing, they were teaching workshops. I mean, teaching was a bit different back then because, like, community people were not really teaching at these like
Studio.
industry studios is what I like perceive them as. For instance, like BDC, Perry Dance, etc. It was more like community-led workshops, like maybe the neighbors host like a workshop series, maybe another team hosts a workshop series, maybe some teams do like a joint series. Like there are so many of those. That's how mainly people taught. Yeah.
But now it's like people kind of go to. Actually, you only mentioned Perry and BDC, so you don't consider Bodega as an industry.
Bodega did not exist back then.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I would not consider them. But now the line is blurred, right? Like these days, I don't really think about these studios as like, okay, industry studio or like community
Because
studio.
it's all the same people teaching,
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly. Like, I think that for me, what I think about is that the community standards of dancing has risen so much that people that are part of the community also does industry work. So
You think back then community dance is more like chill, like it's not as high level as industry people, or?
Yeah, I guess there are two parts. It's like, yes, level wise, but also stylistically, I think industry dance was more commercial, but now like the general style that's like trendy, I would say, is not, or it is more commercial. Like that's like the trendy style. Whereas back then, I think a lot of styles, there were a lot more styles to begin with, but like for instance, a lot of like isolation based styles. Or
Like Kenichi
yeah,
type of?
yeah. Kenichi, and maybe like wordplay based styles. So that's like classic like Ian Eastwood, right? Or like Brian Puspos, like those people that kind of inspired so many of that generation. I think that style was kind of far from like the commercial style that you would see on stage.
I don't even
instance,
know.
right?
Sorry, maybe I didn't start dancing at that time. So
Yeah.
send me those people I put into show notes, and I'll do some research.
Of course, yeah, yeah. But those and like even looking at like the community styles that were coming from like the West Coast, like have you seen Choreo Cookies sets at all? Yeah, like Cookies, GRV, the company, like such classic like community quote unquote teams from the West Coast, like even their styles, I wouldn't say that they were low skill level wise. Like if anything, like they were really pushing the boundary in my view. But stylistically, it was far from what could be commercial. So yeah, I think both of those factors kind of contributed to maybe the line being blurred these days.
But why do you think that became the direction? Like, why did community start to lean towards being more commercial?
It's a good question. I mean, it's kind of. I guess that's something that I haven't thought about before.
We don't have to reach a conclusion, but I like to ask those questions because I think
That's a great question.
we should think about, like, because in my views, as of today, how I view dance, I think, like, maybe if you say level has raised, it's in terms of technique, but what is really dance, right? Because there are all these sports already. If you're looking for to utilize your body to the extreme, then gymnastics, right? Like, if you're looking at how flexible you are and splits and like turns and just spins, like there are already these other things that are focusing on that. And I think to me, dance is still a form of expression, and diversity and like style, being unique, creating your own style and expanding what can be defined as dance. I think that is more valuable, and to me that is higher level, quote unquote. So how come that dance nowadays is shifting in this kind of like we're looking to better our techniques or being better dancer in terms of like just textures or you know what I mean? Like it's kind of different from what I consider. And also because I kind of switched from doing choreo to I'm not gonna call myself a freestyler or not yet battler, but I'm kind of exploring that direction. And I think I was at a workshop that Brian Green was hosting. So he's like a legendary house dancer, but he does all genres. So back in the days, him and all these OGs, they're like the highest level, and they're now the representation for hip hop and house. Like, and he's also like the pioneer who started the format of even battling. Like this existed because of him.
Whoa.
And he was like showing us. He called house dance conference. So back then, the club, it's people of all different styles were all together. Like there will be whackers and they were doing voguing, and people were doing house, we were doing hip hop. Like everyone's in the same space, and it's very underground, so it's all in the club. And I'm seeing that was from like maybe 20 years ago, you know, like, and I consider that higher level. I see movements that are so unique that I don't see anyone doing nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think people like even we call these people battlers. Like people are biting off of each other. I don't know if it's probably social media. Like, if you're bigger and people see you first, and then they consider that's your movement, when you probably got that quote unquote inspiration from someone else.
Right.
So I think like this has been an issue for both sides, not just the choreo side, kind of trying to commercialize, and trying to become more and more alike each other, like instead of being distinctive in their own styles. Same thing is happening in the battlefield.
Oh, that is so interesting.
And I think that's kind of not that's not the point, you know, of dance in the first place.
Right. It's hard because like I think I've grown to like develop a really open mind when it comes to like why people dance, or like how people quote unquote should approach dance, to which like I think there is no answer. Just because like I've had like moments in my life where like I had such a bad relationship with dance, and it's like, oh yeah, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that, where like kind of related to what you're saying, I think it really should be for yourself, but that can look so different for so many people. So for me personally, like it's hard for me to like gauge like whether the change is in the right direction or not. But it is interesting because I think it is true that there used to be a bit more variety in like choreographic movement, or like choreography, and like just like people had distinct styles even. So yeah, going back to your question, like what has initiated that change? I don't know.
I have a hypothesis. I'm not sure if that's real, but also I was thinking about this real time. It's not anything scripted. It just came to me that maybe it's because of competition, actually. Because when there's competition, then there starts to become criteria, and I think that criteria is clearer in the world of choreography, where you're judging people based on their execution, like to which level, like how complete this piece is. And I think same for the battle thingy. Like, if you want to play it safe and want to win, then it's not in the same direction as in you're trying to explore and create and just be willing to take that risk.
I think there's definitely value in what you're saying. There's definitely like movements that's like more suited for competitions. I think because like I know that there was a world like 10 years ago when I joined, when like teams like in the West Coast, they were really pushing the boundary in terms of creativity within the context of dance competitions. So I know that it's not like an exclusive thing where like because there's dance competition, the trend is like converging into like more look the same. But maybe it's like the combination of maybe the competition stuff, but also like maybe some other factors that could be contributing to that.
I think it's an open-ended question, and like you said, I can't say that this trend is a wrong trend, because people are into dance for different reasons. So, but it's just I'm just thinking. It's just questions. I have a lot of questions about dance in general. Then I guess going back to your journey, so when did you join PD, or even before PD, how did you decide to join a team even? And then like how did you step up kind of becoming director and managing a team, and how has that experience
Yeah, yeah. So when I tried out for that boys hip hop team for the school show, I ended up joining and performing and whatever. And then the seniors or juniors at the time, I was a freshman, right?
been?
The juniors at the time, maybe one of them, plus like some alumni from my high school, had joined this team called Unique Movement, right? And then I saw that and I heard about that and I was like, whoa, like these people from my high school are so good, like they joined the team. And then when I joined that school performance and like I prepped for it, practiced it, whatever, I actually had so much fun just dancing. And I guess from then I just decided like, oh yeah, I want to keep doing this thing and like get better and just like go to classes, have fun. And when I guess after my freshman year during the summer, there were so many of those community classes like I mentioned before, and they used to be really cheap too. Like you would be able to take like 2 classes for like $5, for instance. Like it was insane.
Inflation or just
I think it's a combination of inflation, but also there were studio spaces back then that's not available now. Like there used to be a studio called Cap 21. I don't know if that's the right number. Cap something. But that place was used so often for those community workshops, and it was so cheap. So yeah, TLDR, I took so many classes that summer, and then I ended up joining Unique Movement at the end of the summer because that looked like where I can grow a lot, being part of a team and like building a set together. So from then, I got to be part of a functioning team, competed in my first competition, which was Rain or Shine. That was like 2015, I think. Yeah. And then that was me and I was a sophomore now, right? Me and some other seniors at the time. We were all on Unique Movement and we loved it, right? We loved the experience. And then at the end of that fall season, we were like, why don't we bring this like team and set building into our school? Because that already existed in the context of the school dance show. Like we built a set, we just didn't compete. But we were like, okay, there's Prelude New York, and that has a junior division, so why don't we just like gather people from our school and compete there? So then we founded the team called Style Legacy, which was then like our team that was representing the high school in the dance competition. So that started, and then directed that for the rest of my high school years. And in terms of choreographing, I actually started choreographing it almost like immediately after I started dancing. And no one told me to, but it was just like such a common thing to do in high school.
Oh.
Yeah, at least like around me. Like, I mean, when I was a freshman, these juniors, sophomores, whatever, they're all choreographing. So I'm like, okay, yeah, seems fun. So yeah, I was just like so drawn to it. I really loved the idea of like creating something of my own to the way I felt about music and like the sounds coming from the music. So, but
how does it work in your brain? Do you visualize like how it's gonna look as a team? Like, because I feel like choreographing for a team, it's like creating visuals, right?
Yeah.
It's very different from choreographing for yourself, like a solo.
100%. And I mean, I struggled with that for a while, and like, we can talk more in depth about this, but my dance journey, ever since I started dancing, was always in the context of a performance.
Oh.
Like a dance team, a dance show, whatever. But basically like what I just mentioned about how I did that school show and joined Unique Movement and then built my own team or whatever. From that point on, I was always part of a dance team, and my choreography was always also in the context of being on stage. So I personally, after leaving, struggled with this for a while, and like I'm still like trying to figure it out. Like, how do I choreograph?
For like a single.
Yeah. And like it's interesting that you mentioned the freestyle versus choreography thing, because like I've been thinking about that a lot, and like for me, I've been realizing the importance of like being comfortable with freestyling and how it incorporates and like incorporates into choreography and also like augments your choreography. And I just think it's like a necessity that you have to be able to do to make more well-rounded and like a more of myself into the choreography.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if people in the audience, you probably need some sort of dance experience on both sides to really understand this. But I just encourage everyone who's listening to really try it out because it's inevitable. Like you're gonna step into that no matter what, and I think you're gonna be rewarded if you just face your fear, like pass through it.
100%.
So, how do you feel comfortable of when you're kind of also a beginner to like put movements on other people? Because I think I still struggle with that. Like I make my own choreography, but and there were people, I don't know if they're serious about it, but they're like, do a pop-up, but I'm like, I don't feel really comfortable to teach. I don't know, like I don't know if I qualify for that yet. Like
that's also a really big topic, and like I mean personally I think it was just like we were young and dumb. Like we did not think about any of that. Like we just wanted to do whatever we wanted to do, and it was so normal for these other high schoolers to teach these like younger high schoolers or like people that are beginning or etc. So I think we didn't really think much. Looking back though, like should I have started choreographing and teaching people? It's hard to say because like I still think about this because even now the structure for the junior dance teams, because of the way basically me and my friends started it, it's kind of like that where like no adult involvement. Kids are learning how to dance from their like older kids, and then they pass that on and they just like make their own stuff, whatever. And I think it's great because they have to deal with every problem that comes up, right? They're essentially learning a lot of leadership and like how to teach other people. But in terms of maybe like I think the downside, I'll use myself as an example. After I did that and I joined the team and even directed the team and I left the team a year ago, I think I'm having to do a lot of rebuilding in terms of foundation, basically. Because the way I learned how to dance was very choreography based, no foundation. So of course, like I had to rewire my brain and my body to be more foundation focused, not just because it's important for the culture, but also like in terms of choreography, like I didn't see this when I first started, but of course all piece of choreography, good choreography, pulls from foundation. Like there's a reason why it's foundation. You know? So I think when I think about all those things, I really think it's important that especially young kids when they start out, if they get proper guidance, like they will grow so much quicker and like so much more. So I think that kind of guidance is important, but it's like, okay, then like, is it right / absolutely good for these kids to stop like directing the teams themselves and like all the adults should take over? Is that the right thing to do? I don't know. Right.
I think there's no right way to be a dancer. It's like a dance, if you think of dance as like a course or I don't know, finance, right? Then you have to take A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like all these classes, different skill sets. So I think when they were directing and figuring out for themselves, they are already practicing on creativity, leadership, management, like all these skill sets, but they don't have probably like proper foundation and like deep understanding of what really is dance or dance culture. Because I don't know, they were also young. I think it takes maturity to understand that.
Yes.
But I think I and a lot of kids in China, like, well, I'm not a good example because I didn't start dance when I was really young, but I have seen a lot of people who were properly trained. If you see these kids in Japan and China and Korea, I'm pretty sure like they have solid foundation. And technique-wise, if you, they're gonna beat so many people here, right? But they, at some point, they're gonna plateau because they are so afraid to cross that. They think it's harder to create when it's really parallel skill sets. But I think if you grew up in Asian culture, we grind so much. We are so good at execution, but we're so afraid to like make mistakes and I think making mistakes and allowing yourself to make mistakes and allowing yourself to look ugly, quote unquote, is really where creation comes from. And I think the better you are at skills, or the more built you are as a dancer, like, you know, choreography dancer wise, like execution wise, that fear is gonna be harder and harder. It accumulates. If you never attempt it, it's just gonna be this big pile of, you don't know what it is, but you're just too afraid to touch it.
Right.
And that barrier, I think a lot of people never get to cross it, and their dance might just always plateau there. So I think
good to have both.
Yeah, it's so important to have both, but it's so hard to, you know, it's kind of like you're either in this environment or that. Like, you don't really get to.
I've been thinking about this a lot recently because I've always thought about, like when I was in high school, I looked at the West Coast teams and West Coast junior teams and saw that they were so good. Like it was, even the junior teams, they looked like they could go compete at like an adult level and then win, right? And then that got me thinking about like the differences. Like what does West Coast do that the East Coast doesn't, that makes them be that way? But more recently, I've been thinking about like what I can do to help, especially like the junior dance community on the East Coast, or at least in this area. Like basically just grow as much as possible, because like, I would just love to give back to like the community that I grew up in, and also like help young people like reach their full potential, right? I think we have so many untapped dancers, like I'm sure, because like I really do think the energy that we have in New York especially is so special, and like I see it all the time. But I think maybe we just have less support for juniors, young kids, to train in this specific context. For me, choreography, right? So then I've been thinking about setting up a training team. So then
I thought Project D now has a junior division, or you?
Not, they do, called Defined Movement. That's more, it's a youth team, but they also go on stage and like compete. And they train, but I think for me, what I'm specifically thinking is for New York, because I'm here, right? It's hard for me to get to Jersey. But New York, but also not performance or like competing related, because that takes a lot of focus, and like, of course, it builds a lot of necessary skills that like you may need. For instance, like just like being a team dancer, performing with other people on stage. But I think I'm more thinking like, foundational stuff. Maybe like thinking about like the intersection between freestyle choreography and like even class etiquette to like. And one of the things that I want to keep in the conversation for this team is the mental stuff related to dance, because like, it's not something that we can talk about often. Maybe with your friends, but like I wish I had more guidance. For instance, like this is like something that I dealt with for a long time, and it's validation, or like seeking validation, and it's so easy to do with dance, like because you're, especially if you're choreographing, like it's so easy to think, oh, like if I do this move, like rather than thinking like, do I like it, or does it sound like what I hear? Maybe it's easier to lean towards, oh, would people think this is good, or like people relate more to this? And like, especially with like social media and posting and stuff like that, I think validation, for example, is such a big topic that that can really mess with people's relationships with dance. And I wish like I had more guidance. So for instance, that's something like I would love to help younger people kind of navigate. There's just like so many things that, because essentially like I'm thinking about how do I best curate an environment where I can provide the maximum growth and like personal development and just like everything. Like I want to help, I guess, whoever does this in the best way possible, and I want them to be set up for success. And there's just so many things when it comes to dance. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like this, what you're saying is usually the last question I ask every people on my podcast. Like, it's like, if you had known everything that you know now, what would be some advice that you give to your younger self? I think that's exactly what you're trying to do, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You're trying to navigate them in the best way that you know possible, so that they can avoid some of the mistakes or like detours that you took.
Yeah, and they can do better. They can, like the younger generation, I think it's right that, for instance, like me, I grew up in this community learning from the older generation, and I give back to the younger generation, and then they ultimately do better and like push the boundary more. And like I think it's really meaningful to me that I contribute to something like that.
But that's the whole point of dance, though, passing on, and I think that's why this thing still exists. I think it existed from ancient days when people were doing ceremony, and like it's just a natural response to music that it's just universal. Everyone can dance, but not everyone can see that or see themselves like that. But,
for sure.
I guess, but you talk about giving back. Then what are some people that have been your mentor along the way, like since when you first started?
Oh, there have been so many. But when I joined Unique Movement, the directors at the time, I mean, most of them don't dance anymore. But yeah, like those directors, the directors that were on PD when I joined PD.
You said there were times when your relationship with dance has gone so bad. Can you is it one time or two times? Or like how did that happen, and how did you kind of overcome it, and how's your relationship with dance now?
Okay, let's see. I think for the most part it was good. I think it really started when I directed PD, and competition especially was like top of mind. Like, and this kind of goes back to what we're talking about, like kind of the trap of competing as a dance team. And I'm not saying like every dance team that competes has this problem. It's just that like the way the culture was set up, and like the way I thought about things, like happened to like come to this, I guess, problem where like for me, what I was struggling with when I was directing was that, I mean, there were multiple things, but being a director means you need to worry about several different things. One, of course, is the creative stuff, like actually choreographing, staging, making the entire set, right? And then second would be like logistics, like getting things done when it comes to sets or like other things. Third is people management.
Yeah.
And like this is like a toss-up based on like the team's dynamic and how the team is run. But those three things, I think, combined, is like really hard to juggle. And for me, if I were to focus on the creative part a little bit, it goes back to what I was talking about with the validation thing. Because competition, for me, like, because of the way I joined the dance teams and like the way I was kind of raised in the community, I was thinking more like the choreography that I think and like make is in the context of competition, not it's just like my choreography and I happen to go on a competition with, you know? So I think that context always kind of messed with my head a little bit, and the way I choreographed was definitely more optimized to be on stage and for staging. Like, okay, I want to do levels here. Okay, what moves makes levels better?
So you're saying
like
when
easier.
You're choreographing the movements, you already think about staging?
Yeah, it's a mix of things. But for instance, like for certain parts of the song, okay, I can think of the moves first. But for instance, if I'm doing like a closer, generally you want to do some dynamic staging, and that maybe means levels. And I'm like, okay, maybe this part sounds like we can do like level switches or like a ripple or like a cannon. And then I would choreograph according to that idea. So it always kind of depended. But yeah, essentially my relationship with dance was not, like I wasn't dancing or choreographing because I wanted to at that point. Like I was doing it because of my commitment to the team. Yeah, I was a director. I had like responsibilities.
Yes.
And I think like my biggest takeaway from that era and my struggles is that I really, really need to just focus on having fun. Like it's such like a cliche thing. Just have fun. Hear it all the time. But then I really felt it because especially for creative work, I think when you are having fun, not only you actually explore more, but also I think the skill ceiling is way higher if you're having fun rather than like being like bound into some kind of external thought or like forces. If you really have fun and like try to explore, oh, like how far can I take this isolation or like this concept, that's when you can really like break boundaries and grow more. So ultimately, that's what I took away. Like I need to do things for myself, not just for dance, but like in life. That's why I left Google. Yeah.
Yeah, to jumping on that, like, I mean, because we're talking about now, like, after you left PD, it's been a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then you left Google, it's been a year?
Yeah. I left Google a few months ago in September. Now it's been like, I guess, half a year.
Half a year.
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
Yeah. Well, if I were to start with, since I left the team, I think my main focus was to heal my relationship with dance. And that honestly just looked like a whole lot of taking a break and like stepping away, not taking class, not choreographing, just kind of figuring out what I want to do within the context of dance.
So did you like completely stop for a bit, or is it like you're just exploring and kind of dancing in your bedroom type of thing?
Yeah, I think I completely stopped choreographing for a long time. Classes I still took here and there, but I wasn't taking the classes to like. I think still a part of it was like some kind of pressure, like oh, I want to be dancing or like I want to.
Yeah, I
be...
know it's very hard to, especially you've been doing it for 10+ years. It's like a habit. It's like a lifestyle. And
definitely, it's part of my identity too,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So, but overall, I took a break, and then once I left Google, that's when I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do once I left. I left because they gave me severance. Like they said, if you want to leave, we'll give you money. So I left and took the money, but I had no concrete plans. So then after I left, I started looking at like interviewing, and my God, like the prospect of like interview prepping, doing lead code, software engineering interview stuff.
I know, hey.
God, it was so like daunting, and I hated it. Like I hated the thought of it. And what was worse is that I was so jaded by big tech and like just like corporations in general. So I really was not looking forward to going to another big tech company. So then when I was thinking about going to startups, I felt like I didn't really care that much about the problems that a lot of startups are solving. So then...
Steezy?
Yeah, I mean, Steezy definitely would be one of the missions that I care more about. But ultimately, like, it came down to like trying to figure out what I really want to do. And then I started a project, right? Passion project. Like I know for a long time I've been wanting to work on some kind of tech product website. Yeah, with dance. And I had attempted multiple passion projects before, but they never worked out.
Like what? I'm so curious. Sorry. I want to hear failures more than I want to hear success.
What did I start with? Actually, when I first started learning how to code, like mobile apps, I remember making this like mock app for hosting classes, for instance.
Isn't that what you're doing now?
Yes, that was like the draft of like what is happening right now.
So you had that thought from like years
Yeah,
back.
That was like 2018.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it was just a project and like didn't actually end up like deploying it or anything. And another project I worked on in like 2019 with a friend. He was the one that used to work at Bloomberg actually, but we were working on this like competition management for like dance competitions. For instance, like being able to see the schedule change live, like being able to see who's on deck or like tech times and things like that.
Oh wow!
Yeah. That did not launch. And then in 2021, I started another project. Back then it was called Dance Hub, and that was like. It's really
Dance Club. It's similar. You didn't change the name.
Yep, that was the OG name.
Okay.
And then that was more born out of, it's so hard to find people's dance teaching or class teaching schedules. Because like you just have to follow them, their like stories or like highlights. Or
I've
whatever.
always felt that, like, yeah, everything you've thought about, I've thought about,
Exactly.
I just never implemented
Yeah.
it.
So then I tried building that, and then I got carried away with just like PD and work, so I stopped. And then yeah, once I left, right, I was like,
Instead of preparing for interviews,
Yeah.
might as well start my own thing.
Let
Plus,
me-
ChatGPT.
Exactly. But actually, it wasn't even like, okay, I'm gonna start this company thing and I'm gonna pursue it. It was more like, you know what, I don't want to interview prep. Let me do something else while I figure out what I'm gonna do next. So it was more like a passion project again, and it started with the rentals because I knew this was like an ongoing issue for a lot of people. Because for dance studios, for most dance studios, at least in New York, you have to email, right? I want to book this day, this time to this time.
Yeah, I do feel like in dance technology, definitely, there's a lot of gaps that we need to fill.
100%.
Like, it's so manual.
Yeah,
everything.
emails are definitely outdated, you know, like, and then they would reply, oh, that day is not available. I was like, this other time. And then
What, like
you have
that?
to
Okay, I
reply-
never booked student. I didn't
Yeah.
even know. I think class booking is already big
Yeah.
headache.
Yeah,
for me.
rentals are worse, I
Okay.
think, just because of the manual aspect. And like, you have to wait after you send the email inquiry, right? Is this time available? And then they reply, oh, yes, it's available. And then maybe you take a little long to reply, okay, I would like to book it. And they tell
then
you,
it's
oh, it's
already
booked
booked.
already. Yeah,
And also,
like-
you ask 5 studios and
Yeah.
it's different times, so you
Yes.
don't really get to compare.
Exactly. So then it felt more like a clear problem to solve. So I was like, okay, for Dega at least, I know they don't really have a solution right now. So I'm going to just build this thing for Dega. So I built it and we launched. And then actually, while we were preparing for launch, I had a moment where I was kind of stuck because like, while I was working on this rental thing, I realized that, wow, I really love working on this. Like this feels like
A niche that you fit.
yeah, like everything aligns. Like my technical skills, my just like
Connections
knowledge in the
dance
domain.
community,
Yes, connections, and just in general, like dance has been such a big part of my life, and like I kind of denied this for a long time, or didn't realize it. But my life purpose, like the reason why I exist, definitely has to do with dance, right? And
I feel that way too, but
Yeah.
I'm still finding my niche, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. So then, yeah, I realized, okay, I'm not gonna interview. I need to really make this work and like try to make money.
Yeah, then that part, like, how is it gonna...
Yeah, making money is the hard
Yeah.
part, right? So that's when I was stuck because I was like, okay, well, I guess if I want to make money off the rental stuff, I need more studios onboarded. And if I want more studios onboarded, I need to reach out to them. I need to do sales and marketing. And I really, I still feel this way, but I really felt like a roadblock and like stuck because like, one, that's not my core skill. 2, I don't really enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
3, this kind of has to do with like my jadedness with the corporation stuff, but I really did not want to like do the thing where like, I didn't want to be that guy that slides into your DMs and says, hey, I'm building this thing.
You don't want to be my,
Yeah.
like, on people's block list.
Yeah,
spam
exactly.
callers.
Like that's just like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Not just because like, I feel like the sales guy, but in general, it just felt a little bit like not genuine in
yeah,
a
I
certain
know,
way.
yeah.
I mean, of course, like I have to do that to a certain extent, but TLDR, I was stuck. I was like, oh, I don't want to do it. And I was like putting it off. And then I was like, you know what? While I'm stuck, let me just make another thing. And then that's when I like built out the pop-up class thing.
Wait, I thought it's on the same web...
It is on the same website, but that was never supposed to be part of the website. Like I never really thought to do it because like I thought people were completely fine with Google Forms and Venmo.
No.
Yeah,
Hey, excuse me, what?
But yeah, I built it for fun. I wasn't even going about it with like an agenda of like, oh, I'm gonna make this like a big thing and I want people to use it. It was more like, this used to be like a thing that I wanted to like build. Let me just build it. And the initial prototype didn't even have like a integration for like the signups. Like I literally just put like, okay, copy in your or paste in your external link, like the Google form link, and then I just want this to be like
the display.
yeah,
And like
just basically just display. But then I think I had asked some friends like, would anyone be interested in this, like just like on like a story, and no one had replied actually. So I was like, okay,
I didn't
maybe
see that. I think I replied to one of your stuff. Is it happening?
No. I think I had posted on like a close friends that I created just for this purpose, and like just like people that I think who might want to use it, right? So then no one had replied. So I was like, okay, like maybe this is not a need. Again, like back then I thought people are fine with Google Forms and Venmo. So I was like, okay, I'll just leave that be. And then I kept working on the rentals. And then a few weeks later, Isidro and Celine brought it up in a conversation, and they were saying that they would like to, like, they were interested in looking at it. So then I set things up for them, and they used it. And that was actually the exact same time where the rental stuff launched with Dega. But since then, the pop-up stuff has been amazing. Yeah. People have been using it a lot. And I'm really grateful because like I ultimately, this pop-up situation, like I'm not trying to make money off of it. It's more like
you're just helping people to streamline.
Yeah. There's a gap and I want to fill it.
It has always been, because I don't know, it was in China it would never be a case like this where you just, what Google form, like come on, we're in 2026.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. And like, yeah, it's just another way for me to give back to the community.
And I think it aligns with, like, you've thought about all these things before.
Yeah.
And I this is something I've begun to realize, that if you find something frustrating, it's very likely that other people find it frustrating too. Like, don't like, people are very different, but people are very similar.
Yeah.
We don't want to jump between links, and we don't want to have to follow people's Instagram, and they're all over the place. They post stories, but it's getting sold out in 3 seconds,
right.
and then you have to keep track of everyone. And like, they always make their pop up at the same night, around the same time, and they're like, come on, just have a centralized place.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, essentially that's what I wanted to help with. So yeah, that's gonna be free, and it's been great seeing people use it, because actually after that initial post, I have not done any like outreach or like asking people to use it.
People reach out to you.
Yeah, like they, like, thankfully, honestly, Isidro and Celine have been such like big proponents of like getting the word out, because obviously they have a huge platform as dancers. But even though I have never like asked them to, but they share it so often, they always tag me, and like they're such good supporters of like what I've been working on, which I'm really grateful for. But ultimately, I think the word of mouth has been amazing, and like I'm very happy that it's helping people. But that's actually separate from my issue where I need to make money. Right?
Yes, like I said. How?
I need to survive, pay rent. So that's when I realized, okay, like I have this rental stuff, but actually studio rental volumes are quite low. And the overall market like size, like it's big, but even for a given studio, like the way they make their money, rental is a small percentage of their business model. Most of it is classes.
I think, yes, because like, I think rental came off to these studios, like, I'm not talking about Ripley or Gibney, but like for Dega, for other studios that have regular classes, I think it's just in the daytime it's empty. Like, if someone were to book it, it's additional income, why not, type of thing, instead of like, because not classes everyone can go to, and it's people who have day job that goes to class. But for rehearsals, it has to be quote unquote full-time or professional dancers, and it has to be a dance team or company. And oftentimes they might just use Monahan Training Hall.
Right. Yeah, true. Free. And also, like, I mean, rentals, usually people want them at like peak times, right? 6 to 10 p.m. on like a weekday, for instance. That's like prime class time for studios. So that's what led me to thinking, okay, like it makes sense for like business wise for me to also try to support classes. So building a complete studio platform for dance studios. And also there is no dance studio platform right now. A lot of the platforms being used are fitness studio platforms.
You mean Mind Body?
Yeah. biggest example is Mindbody, but there's also so many others in the industry. But as far as I know, maybe there's like one or two dance focused ones, but there's none that does both classes and rentals the way I envision it to. So yeah, that realization was like last year, like December, a few months ago. So then since then I've been building out the class platform, which is like huge. There's so many things to build, but almost done. Most of it is done actually, and I'm working with Dega and another studio that have onboarded for rentals, and they are both interested in looking at this class stuff. So hopefully that class platform will be launched in the next few months. But that's where we're at.
I guess why? Because I thought Mindbody to me is okay. Like
Yeah.
the Google form is not okay,
Right.
but Mindbody is okay. Like what? Why? What is specific to dance studios that like fitness center platforms cannot solve?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, it's one that I'm still trying to get a more holistic picture of. But the biggest answer is, of course, rentals. I've seen studios process rentals through Mindbody, but it's kind of like hacky because it would be like a list of like times that's like you need to choose it, and like the rates, it's like it's not meant for rentals. So for instance, for dance club, like you see like a calendar full of availabilities, and then you can choose whatever slots you want to book, and then choose an appropriate rate, whether it's like rehearsal, class, whatever, and then you book it, right? But I think maybe Mindbody, for instance, can support that in like this hacky way, but I think they still miss a lot of features here and there. Maybe like you want to upgrade the room, for instance, or like maybe you want to apply like discounts to the rentals, or like maybe the biggest thing is like memberships exist. Like some studios do like subscriptions basically, where like, okay, if you pay like $150 per month, you get unlimited classes, and maybe you get 10% off the rental. As far as I know, there's no platform that can actually integrate both rentals and classes together in that way for the memberships. And the biggest thing is that Mindbody is expensive. For a studio that big that wants like all the features, they need to pay like at least like $300, $400 per month. But there are cheaper solutions that exist that's like $150 per month, for instance. But
is that what Dega is? Like they were paying the cheaper ones?
Yeah.
I've always been wondering, like, why is Dega not on Mindbody? Because I would love for all studios to be just on one thing I can just see, but
100%. But
and
Mindbody
sometimes,
is
honestly, I think some studios, if they weren't on Mindbody, that will be the reason why I would not stop, but like go to them less. But Dega has been an exception because Dega offers unique classes that doesn't exist elsewhere. But like,
you bring up a good point there, because even for rentals, like I've heard people say like if it's an email only rental, like I don't want to book it. Like I want to go to a studio where they have some kind of system where it's like a website or whatever. So I think for classes, it's also interesting to hear, like if the process, like the experience is not good, I guess like you would go to that studio less, right? So what I'm trying to do is like provide all that good stuff for dance studios, like a good experience, and also like the integration with rentals and things like that, but at a cheaper price. Because ultimately, like this project or this company, I guess it's a company, it's bootstrapped, right? I'm not getting investments. I don't want to. So as long as I make enough money to survive, I don't have like this external pressure for me to raise prices or like make like a ton of money by like basically charging dancers, right, or dance studios. So for me,
that's the mindset of people who were kind of raised by the community.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna, you have to make profits off of it, but it's not for making like business or commercial like that.
Yeah, and I would never want to take.
They struggle enough.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like dancers struggle enough, dance studios struggle enough. Like I would love to provide as much as possible to dance communities like worldwide, to just like get things
done.
Yeah, And dancers deserve better, essentially.
Yes. Oh my God, that's what I was thinking in the past 2 months because I was injured. I couldn't dance that much, and I think if you're occupied enough, you don't have time to think, right? I think that's also why like the time that you were off work, off project, then you finally have time to think about all these things. For me, it happened kind of passively. I didn't want to get injured. I had so much fun. It's like, I'm going to train this for the next month. And then injury, okay, all of a sudden everything stopped. And I just started to think like, dance doesn't need any of us. We need dance more than dance need us. And like the world has enough good dancers, and there will always be enough good dancers. Like that, I think people who train dance, most people, want themselves to be a good dancer, right? Like that's still their main priority. And I do see value in that, but also we see so many problems in the dance industry that is a systematic issue. And I think also because I was in freestyle community and I started to realize that they were telling us that you were choosing dance, but dance was also choosing you. And everyone who's in dance, if you're here today, if you're hearing this, you all have a responsibility. Like, it's like if you have a tech background, that's how you were thinking. That's a problem that you're seeing because you can solve it. And if there's a lawyer, then there will be things that they see that they can solve. And if they're like, I don't know, a doctor or a PT, like there'll be problems that they see and they want to solve. And essentially that's what makes dance. Like it's all these people too. Like it's not just the dancer who's on stage, and it's everyone else who's seeing it from your perspective. And honestly, that's what dance is about, even in terms of dance. Like everyone's unique life experience is going to show in their movement. I just think like that really changed how I view dance. And obviously right now I'm only doing my podcast, but I was also thinking about like this year I wanted to make some attempts in terms of like commercializing, not in terms of like I want to make money, but in terms of I want to find business models that fits the dance world. Because the way that I'm seeing dance, the reason why they struggle so much if we compare dance with music industry, if a singer records a song, it gets played 1 billion times. And it's like passive income. When you're sleeping, it's still generating revenue. But dance is a performance art, so that you're always trading your time. Like one time to get a certain rate. No matter how high that rate is, it's still linear. So then I think that on that front, that's why like there was one guest, she was doing LA Pop, that's like the dance short film, because once it becomes film, like not just class reels, but like actual films, then that's going to be passive, or that's going to be like, it's going to be streamed or played multiple times. I think maybe one successful example is Black Swan. That's one dance film that's really like other people start watching it, and then it's also educating the general audience, because I think technically wherever there's music there can be dance, but somehow people think of dance as something that's like not related to their life really. And also people they think they couldn't appreciate dance the way that dancers can do. That's another thing I was thinking, like for concerts, right? Like you don't have to be a singer, you don't have to be a songwriter, you don't have to practice singing even to want to go to a concert. But for dance competition, prelude, elements, why would a non-dancer just randomly go there? What would they understand, right? Or for freestyle battles too, I think everyone who's there, who's watching, have to have dance experience. You have to participate in it to understand it. So I think, and then not enough people participating in it. That's why like, it's like a closed circle where dancers are making money off of each other, and then when they get money, they go back to class, and then it's like inner circulation that nobody gets invested, like really. But when we talk about commercializing, it always has to be industries that's actually selling stuff, right? So that's why like a lot of freestyle people, they're also models, and fashion and dance can definitely, they're close to each other in some ways. And also, like, I was thinking about sports in States, they make a ton of money, right? Like, maybe in terms of competition, it's easier to comprehend, and people are more excited when they see each other compete. So I think Brian did a great job. Like, I think if it weren't for dance battles, dance would be even more underground. Like, because if you were asking people, I think it's harder for people to appreciate art, or it's higher bar that people have to cross than for people to understand competition and aggression.
That's why you've touched on so many points that I've actually recently been talking to a lot of people about. like specifically like the training that you need to appreciate dance, like on stage, is like it's so deep. It goes so deep. Like
Yeah.
you need to learn so much about dance to like really truly appreciate some of these like performances or like the way that it's executed and whatnot. I think the kind of a related topic. I don't know if you've seen anything about IDL,
I've seen, yeah.
right? So I guess like that's kind of
Steezy is powering it?
yeah,
Or,
yeah. The way I see it, the IDL was formed by folks at Steezy because of what you just described, right? Like, it's harder for people to, well, yeah, one, it's harder for dancers to make money, and two, like, sports leagues make a lot of money. So then number three, like how do we bring that model into like the dance world is like what I think I see IDL is trying to do. Personally, I think it's gonna be a really hard job and it's gonna be polarizing just because art or dance or art, whatever.
Essence
both.
is not that, right?
Yeah, like it's like just like how people compete at like dance competitions, like, and some people freestyle, like it's like everyone's thoughts of dance is so different, and dance is not a sport to a lot of people, right? Dance is more, it has more to do with self-expression and like exploration, creating, and I think it's like time will tell if like how IDL is going to do among dancers, but I think essentially that's what they're trying to do, like bring that sports mindset and like try to give the dancers a platform in some sense. But who knows?
I think like when we talk about sports, how do sports actually make money? I think it's like they're famous, but I think a lot of dancers are famous and they're still struggling, which is like crazy to me because I think if they were in Asia, they can just cash off of their influence, but somehow in the States it doesn't really
That's
work
so true.
that way.
Is it like that in China too? Because I was gonna say in Korea after
it is like that in China.
Okay.
Honestly, they don't care about what you do. They're gonna ask you to just what is it called, spokesperson? They just
like
find
ambassador
members.
for brands.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't even have to be a line. You could be a dancer, and they can ask you to be on, like, fried chicken. Joey
right.
PS.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they have definitely...
Yeah.
I don't see any relation whatsoever in what they do, but as long as you're famous, they just want you. I
think that's because you're saying for dancers, it's like that in China, right?
Yeah, too.
And there were competitions, like shows that were popular in China, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same for Korea, where street woman fighter, street man fighter, whatever, like these
That's
shows.
what I want to talk about. I think Korea is always so innovative and great at commercializing.
Yeah. And that's ultimately why. It's not a good thing. I don't know if I like that.
Okay, no offense.
But yeah. I mean, it's true. It's
You're
true.
right.
But I've seen the impact that show has had in Korea, and it sounds like China as well, like similarly.
Yeah.
Where like these dancers have become so much fame, or has gained so much fame, and like it's gained the general public's interest. Dance has, right? And people, I see comments all the time in these like clips from Street Woman Fighter, like they are like talking about like, oh, this person like switches up like texture so well, and like maybe they don't write it so like technically, but I can tell that people are
understanding it more because they get more exposure.
Exactly. So that's possible.
It's really, really sad that the States, like... Also, when I was thinking about business models potentially related to dance, I also think about, like... Because I was comparing dance to sports, right? Sports is... a lot of people say sports industry has money because of sports betting. Because it's so much competition. Then dance betting doesn't even exist.
Oh, God.
I thought about it, but I don't think it's, like... That's not something I want to promote. But also... Really sad thing is there's a website that like lets you bet on anything.
Oh yeah.
I forgot which one, but the past weekend Kevin showed it to me, and I was just because I thought about it, so I was like, search for battle, search for dance.
Yeah.
Nothing showed up. So it says that the general audience in the States, they just don't care about
Right.
Like they don't even want to bet. You can bet on literally anything, and that doesn't even pop up. You know what I mean? Like it's so sad that like.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, the problem here is really that like people don't, exposure wise, like.
It's interesting, because like do we want dance to be commercialized in that sense? I think there's no clear answer. But ultimately, I think that dancers deserve a spotlight just as much as like artists do. And like my
we are artists. What do you mean?
I mean, sorry, like singers and rappers
I
or
know,
whatever, right?
Like all these other industries, people at the top. Like I think dancers have followers, they have exposures, but it's like in all these other things, either sports or music or even writers. Once they became famous, they get a exposure not just in terms of their craft. They also people want to know their stories. People want to know what they've been through. People want to know like there are so many sports documentaries and even films that are so popular because people were kind of inspired by the spirit behind how they were able to make it there. And I think same thing goes for dance. I find so many people's life stories so inspiring, but because how lack of understanding people in the general audience is to dance, like they don't care. They don't want to know.
Yeah. So
I think that's my first attempt. Like hosting this podcast is my first attempt to like at least give dancers a spot to talk, like to have conversations, to have verbal communication outside of the non-verbal communication that we do on a daily basis. But like
makes sense.
To talk, and then I think like you were thinking about these things, I was thinking about it too. Like we didn't even talk, and we were thinking about the same things. And I think if more people were to talk about it and brainstorm, maybe solutions can come up. And then you don't have to go to those studios and be like this man person. Maybe if everyone were together, or we have a platform that people can kind of discuss, then we can kind of reach a solution easier.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. That's why community is so important too, I feel like. But it's hard to curate that community.
Because I think, how should I put it? Most dancers, if they were trained, I'm talking about like dancers as in public, in general audience eyes, when they think about dancer, they probably think of a ballet dancer who started ballet training when they were 3 or 4, and they were just made for dance, body conditioning wise, and they were still flexible, just naturally, like, they're trainable. And then they have to be like, go through this whole training, and then now they're a principal ballet dancer at, I don't know, American Ballet Theater. But like, first of all, that's not the majority of the people in the dance community or the dance just as a whole. And second, like for those people, their path is almost like, for us, we go to school, we get good grades, and then we go to college, and then we become sovereign. Like when path is so clearly defined, and you just have to follow the training, and I don't think, like, probably they have even less question than we do about dance, because we have all these insights that we gain from our other life experiences and industries that we're in. And I think it's our, like we mentioned before, it's our responsibility to bring those insights into dance and kind of to solve it in a creative way, or to at least elevate it. I think dance deserves a spot like any other industry, but if you go to the bank, you tell them you're a dancer, it doesn't even have that category. You're a freelancer. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, 100%.
So I think like we are a unique person, like each one of us, and like we all have something to contribute. Like maybe we're not the most technical dancer, but that doesn't matter. Like we can provide things as valuable, if not more, like to the dance as a whole, like anyone else who's participating. I think that's the mindset that I encourage everyone who's also listening to take and to like think, because there's just so much things to be done, and I think we need to, all of us need to like kind of work together to kind of, like to create a solution for, like you said, dancers deserve better. I think, how should I put it? When I first started dancing, I also think of like, I always wanted to buy a discounted ticket or spend as little, like to make it, to invest the least and get the most out of it, which I think is nothing wrong. But I think the more that I get to know these dancers and their stories, and the closer I get to see the whole industry, now I'm willing to like
support.
I'm willing to support. And there are days when if I go out to eat and all our corporate friends, they might spend so much money on just one meal, and I would rather, I kind of start to my like pricing model for everything became, this is like 5 classes, you know what I mean? Like, or this is someone's private, like why would I want to do doing this instead of that. Like,
yeah, that's real.
I don't know, has it ever occurred to you, but sometimes it is like that for me.
Yeah.
And I started to, when people are talking about, oh, let's do something together, I was like, oh, do you want to join this class with me? I mean, obviously, in some styles, I'm more advanced than most people, but there are styles I have never tried before. I would rather go take a belly dance class with someone than to just randomly shop or get boba or like an expensive meal. Like, I would rather connect to people and kind of bring all my friends into dance if possible. So yeah, I just encourage everyone else to think in those lens too. Like, there are so many things that needs to be done, and if not money, like time and energy and the thoughts that you put into it are also really, really valuable resources that just this industry needs a lot of everything.
Yeah, we need anything we can get.
And I think, especially in terms of like this day and age, when you talk about you don't want to go back to tech interviewing, like, I get these questions every day nowadays. Like, all my friends are asking, like, where is this industry been going? I mean, I'm talking about software engineer now, not in terms of dance, but as in tech,
right?
Or as in all the white collar jobs. Like,
because AI.
Where is it gonna go? Like, it's not just one person who's losing their job, and it's not anybody's fault. It's not because we're incapable, but we're human. Like, we can never beat machine at efficiency and productivity. Like, what do you expect from me? And also, like, just in terms of is that what people's values are, right? Like, what does it mean to be human, and what does it mean to have a human experience? Like, I think art is so essential in those terms, but everyone, because they were so caught up with this, I don't know,
capitalism
mindset that we have to be useful, we have to be making money, that they kind of lost track of the goal of why we're making money, or what are we doing this for. And I think now this problem has become more and more preemptive, and people have to think about it because it really, really impacts everyone. So I'm being idealistic, but I just hope that dance can surface and come to people's mind more. And like, participating in dance, honestly, it can be free, you know, when you first start out. Right? Like, it costs nothing. You just have to have a speaker and play music, and anywhere you can dance. So I don't know. Probably now is the sweet spot actually for dance too.
I think so too. And also like all these shows popping up, and like since COVID hit, like dance's presence in the general public also has definitely gotten better, just because of TikTok, honestly, and K-pop.
See, Korea has done so well.
I was just gonna say, like, I think the K-pop industry, or K-pop dance industry, there's also so much to talk about there. And like, for me, I think I struggle with this a lot, because on one hand, I love that K-pop is bringing so many people into the dance world, and like, that's how a lot of people start dancing, honestly, including our generation. 100%. But then like, there's of course like
misconceptions that are,
I was gonna say, like, there's stuff about K-pop and its nature of like basically building on top of Black culture, and like when that, plus how choreographers for K-pop songs are not properly credited, right? And also, like,
are they getting paid enough though? Like,
I mean, I maybe the rate itself could also be better. I don't know enough about that, but I imagine, like, because dance is so important to every like iconic moments for singers or rappers or whatever, I feel like it makes sense in the future that if songwriters get a commission, like a percentage of how well the song does, doesn't it make sense that the choreographers also get the same treatment?
Well, this is a good point. I had been thinking about this, like, as in, even in terms of battle, like, people talk about, at least back in the days, how battle started, you have to be original. But now, like, how do we copyright a move, right? The same way that we copyright a song. Because I think in terms of K-pop or choreography, it actually makes sense, because, like, you're doing the same thing. But in terms of, like, I don't know if you're doing hip hop and all these basic movements, we don't even
Just
know
foundational
who did
moves,
it
yeah.
first, right? Like also it's bounce. It's literally like
Yeah.
you just get down and up like that. Everyone does it every day.
Yeah.
Like so then it's gonna be so hard to what extent are you copying? To what extent are you taking inspiration off of it?
Yeah.
To what extent is it a variation, or to what extent are you like just taking it directly?
Yeah.
Like I think it will be tricky to define that, but I think in terms of choreography and especially K-pop, or when the move is out in the music video,
right.
I do think it makes sense the same way as like songwriters that choreographers get a commission.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, that's like I think one of the things that I wish were better about K-pop stuff, because like for instance there are a lot of K-pop dance studios, and like I think the current model is that the choreographers went, for instance, if some group reaches out to me and like choreograph for their song or whatever, I submit that thing and it's like out of my hands now, right? Like I get no money after that. So then like even if like K-pop dance studios all over the world take that choreography and teach it, like for me that like there's no income from that, right? Although like maybe a significant portion of that choreography being taught is mine.
You know, I think that also contributes to why people have been less creative and just kind of become more and more identical, because there's no incentive for them to put in all these work. Like how hard is it to like make something that's completely original and you get no credit, no money after that? Like why would people be doing it?
Yeah, that's a valid point too. Yeah.
But I guess how does songwriters first make it to them that they have to get a commission? Like definitely nobody wants to pay anyone more.
Right. That's so true. Yeah.
Like we needed to research and learn from how they were able to.
Yeah. I was literally just looking this up like yesterday, because I don't know if you saw this video going around on Instagram about Kalani's performance. No. So basically, like these two choreographers made a concept video to Folded in a laundromat, and like there are like many good concepts being used, and Kalani had a performance on stage, and like it was, the props were like laundromat, and like there were like very similar ideas. Yeah. So then the choreographers made a video, and it was like very nicely put. Like they weren't like trying to attack Kalani. It was just like straight facts and like showing the video and whatnot. But I saw Galen Hooks commenting on that, and I think she's one of the people that's done a lot of work in terms of like helping dancers copyright movement, or like maybe herself. And yeah, I think there's just like so much to be done probably, but also I don't have enough knowledge in like the copyright world. But
lawyers who love to dance, it's now your turn.
Make something. Make something
happen,
please. Yeah. Actually though, like this is not my domain at all. I wish I had more knowledge to help dancers, because I think that's like the foundation of like protecting dancers from like getting exploited.
So many things I think they went viral because of dance, but nobody's like properly compensated.
Yeah.
I maybe I'm now like more exposed in the freestyle and like underground old school type of world, and I see these OG, like imagine if you work in a corporate, you have 401k, you have health insurance, and when you retire by 60 or 70, you're good to go. Like you should have a decent life by then if you worked hard your entire life. Right?
Yeah.
And but then for creative industry, like it's always as hard as when we first started to make a good piece. Like it's always a new challenge. It never gets easier. So in corporate, the higher up you get, you can be lazy a little bit, right? Because you have all these people to work for you, but it's never the case in the creative world.
So true.
And plus, you don't get no health insurance or
nothing. Yeah.
or 401k. And when you're 60 or 70s, what are you going to do? I'm literally seeing all these people, they were legendary dancers in their times. And now some of them look like homeless. Like, I don't know if they actually have a home to live, but mental-wise, I think they've been abused their entire life. And imagine being so talented and gifted and you're kind of born to do this. And it is a thing that you love, but you also... I can't even imagine how their relationship with dance would be. Like,
Yeah. It's like, when I look at those people that's made such a big impact in like these communities worldwide, I feel like, the thought is always like they deserve better,
Yeah. I think for us, especially like we've been in the school, in corporate, and in dance, So I think it's definitely equally hard to be a good dancer as to be like a college professor, or like it's on the same level if not more, because it's both mental and they're as intelligent and creative, but they are way less compensated and they have such a like a unstable career, like and plus it has to be like your body, you have to maintain your physical health all the time.
Yes.
It's not always going to be the case. Like you can just literally anything can happen to you. Injuries is inevitable if you train hard enough, and then accidents.
Yeah, that's so true.
Anything can happen at any minute, and then you don't have proper insurance.
Yeah, I guess like the systematic issue that you're talking about, it's really like up to the government to provide enough like safe like fallbacks for people to be artists. Like not everyone, like I guess the society should not be set up in a way where like everyone needs to go work in a corporate world. Like we need artists, so then there should be safeguards in place to like help those people, I think.
The same way that academic was set up, like they became tenure, and then like even if they're not earning a whole lot of money, but they have enough to make a living so that they can explore and do these creative work that you don't see short-term benefits of. Like it's an investment and there is risk involved, but like some people you should allow at least some people to do that. Like, and I think for artists it's just way harder, even though they're doing as hard.
Oh man, I forgot which country this was, but they have like a system to support artists. Like it's like a
somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, it was a European country. It was like they give like income to artists while they like try to figure it out, or something like that. Yeah, but I mean, it would be amazing to have something like that available. But in America, I mean, along with the host of other issues, like
I think the so many things are happening now that it's hard. Like, why would people care about dance at this moment? But also, I think I saw another post the other day that it's like the world is on fire and we're still dancing. Like, what are we doing? Or is it like why?
It's because the world's on fire that we're dancing.
And I think in terms of like street styles, in its origin, how it came up in the first place. It has something to do with systematic suppression, and it was during a very hard time, and this is something that people bled for, and like this is the exact time that we should be dancing. You know? Like I think that Sam's passing has really hit hard on everybody, that life is so transient and anything can happen to anyone at any minute, that like it's just a blessing to be able to dance, and it's almost a miracle for you to be in the same room with someone and spend time together and doing something that you love. Like, this time in history is never going to be replicated. It's like you can never step in the same river twice, right? So I think it is in those chaotic moments that people hold on to these good things even more, because you know how transient and how precious it is.
100%. I think I saw a similar post that like people create in these hard times. It was a post talking about the Bronx specifically and how hip hop came to be in the context of like that specific environment, because like there were a lot of like things getting burnt down and things being taken away essentially, but art creating something is something that cannot be taken away from somebody, you know. So I think that's why it makes sense that like the more we feel like the world burning and like the more grief we feel, I think we turn to art, and that just speaks to like how important art is.
I think I was thinking about this the other day, that like, because one friend, she does contemporary for the most part, and she asked a very interesting question that like, you know, contemporary and ballet, to a lot of people, it's more like people who are rich are into that, but those are kind of sad, melancholy, versus when hip hop and all these street styles, they come from people who are underrepresented and like suppressed, but it's very happy and optimistic. And I started to think that it goes to everything else in life too. It's like when you have a lot to lose, you're in this defense state that you're holding on to it. You're afraid of people taking it away. That you're always in this like afraid to lose or kind of sad, or you think about a lot of potential harms or potential, breakdowns. Like you tend to focus more on the bad things because that's scarce. That's like rare. That's abnormal. But then if you're in a state where you're like, you have nothing to lose and you can only hold on to the good things, that's what keeps you alive. So I do see this, even in traveling too. I think people who are living in countries that are very chaotic and very hard tend to be so optimistic and happy. And carefree. Because what can they care about? Like, and also it's like, there's nothing you can do about it, right? Like if it's a problem that you can solve, you're probably worried about how do I solve it. But if it's like, it's just the way it is and that take it or leave it, then people start to find other ways, then they start to be happy. Because it's your coping mechanism.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I think there's definitely a point there.
So
interesting.
Well, to end this podcast, just summarize. Still that same question. If you were to give that advice to your younger self in dance, what would you have done differently? What would you do?
Yeah, I think it's the same. Really ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing and make sure that it aligns with what you want. And check in with yourself if you're having fun.
Yeah, that's so important. Having fun. It's something to learn though. It's very serious.
It's hard.
It's hard, it's serious, it's a lot of fear, it's a lot of like loving yourself really, like not just depending on how well you do.
Yes.
And I think that accepting is what makes, in terms of dance, that's what makes your essence or sauce.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing with us, and I hope I will post the dance club website down there. Go support, and like if Chinese studios, maybe email. I'll put your email there too, so they can reach out to you, and like I hope we can all do something for dance.
Yay.
Bye guys.